We live in an age of the upgrade. We are constantly told that happiness is just one purchase away, a faster phone, a bigger house, a shinier life. Yet, look around. Why do so many of us feel hollow? We are drowning in possessions, but starving for meaning. We wake up anxious, check our bank accounts with dread, and feel like the world is leaving us behind. The truth is harsh, but simple. You don't need a new life. You need new eyes. The following story takes place far from the polished skyscrapers, in a place where things go to die, to teach us how to truly live. Frank's auto repair sat on the edge of town, a relic of a bygone era. The air inside always smelled of stale oil, gasoline, and disappointment. Frank, a man in his 60s with grease permanently etched into his fingerprints, hated the modern world. He hated the computerized engines he couldn't fix. He hated the mounting bills on his desk. And most of all, he hated his own reflection. To Frank, life was a rigged game, and he was the perpetual loser. In the darkest corner of the garage, under a torn, dusty tarp, sat the symbol of Frank's failures, a 1967 Ford Mustang Fastback, or rather the corpse of one. It was a skeleton of rust and rot, no engine, no interior, just a hollow shell. Every time Frank walked past it, he muttered a curse. He saw it as a burden, a money pit he was too poor to fix and too stubborn to scrap. It was just a pile of junk, much like how he viewed his own future. Then came Leo, a kid in his 20s needing a summer job to pay for trade school. He was annoying. He hummed while he swept the floors. He smiled when customers yelled. He had an energy that Frank found exhausting. On his third day, Leo pulled back the tarp in the corner. "Get away from that," Frank barked, wiping his hands on a rag. "That's just a rust bucket, total garbage. I'm gonna have it towed to the scrapyard next week." Leo didn't move. He ran his hand along the corroded fender, his eyes wide, not with disgust, but with reverence. "Garbage? Frank, look at the lines. Look at the stance. This isn't rust. It's history waiting to breathe again. This is a legend." Frank scoffed. "It's dead metal, kid." "No," Leo replied firmly. "It's a project. If you let me, I'll stay late, unpaid. Just let me bring her back." Frank grunted his permission, expecting the boy to quit in a week. But Leo didn't quit. For months, the garage echoed with the sounds of grinding and hammering long after closing time. Frank watched from his office, nursing a cold coffee. He saw Leo sweating, bleeding, covered in grime, yet looking happy. Where Frank saw a stuck bolt as a curse from God, Leo saw it as a challenge to his skill. Where Frank saw a dent as a permanent scar, Leo saw an opportunity to smooth things out. Slowly, something in the old mechanic began to thaw. One evening, without saying a word, Frank walked over and handed Leo a wrench he was reaching for. Then he picked up some sandpaper. They worked in silence, not as boss and employee, but as craftsmen. The transformation was visceral. As the layers of rust were stripped away to reveal clean steel, the layers of cynicism were stripped from Frank's heart. He stopped complaining about the rain and started noticing the rhythm of the work. He realized the car hadn't changed. It was always metal and parts. What changed was the hands touching it. 6 months later, the moment of truth arrived. The Mustang stood in the center of the garage, painted a deep, fierce midnight blue. Chrome bumpers caught the dim garage lights like diamonds. Leo turned the key. The V8 engine didn't just start, it roared, a deep, guttural symphony of power that shook the dust off the shelves. It was alive. Frank ran his hand over the hood, tears welling in his tired eyes. He looked at Leo. "I thought it was trash," Frank whispered. "It never was," Leo smiled, wiping grease from his cheek. It just needed someone to believe in it. That old garage is still there, but it feels different now. Frank is still old, and the work is still hard, but he no longer sees himself as a victim. He learned the ultimate lesson. My friends, look at your life right now. Look at your struggles, your pain, your failures. What do you see? Do you see a pile of rust? Do you see a tragedy that happened to you? Or do you see a chassis waiting for restoration? The event itself is neutral. The car is just a car. The debt is just numbers. The breakup is just a change. The suffering comes from the story you tell yourself about it. If you look for the bad, you will find a scrapyard. If you look for the potential, you will build a legend. Stop waiting for the world to give you a shiny new car. Pick up the sandpaper, do the work, change your perspective, and you will inevitably change your life. Don't let your potential gather dust. Hit subscribe to join a community of builders, not victims. Let's shift your perspective, one story at a time.